What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. I hope that the work weekend is treating you well. Welcome to the live Amazon FBA Seller Ask Me Anything, where we will tell you or show you any way to sell on Amazon. You bring your questions about online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, wholesale, you name it, and I will try to help you. If it's your first time here, my name is Chris Grant, and we're live every day at 5:30 from sunny Central Florida. So let's go ahead and dive in. Hey, Luke, what's going on, man? Glad to have you. Hey, Carrie, glad to have you as well. Hope that everyone took the time to watch the Buckeyes beat Texas last night. It was a fun game. It was a good game, and little tense in a few moments, but came through in the end. Sawyer with that great play at the end was nice. So, all right. Hey, from Las Vegas, ice cold was strong. Yeah, I hear you. It's a little cold here in Florida as well. Not too bad, but a little cold. Hey, Karen, glad to have you here. Hey, Gene, what's going on? Glad to have you guys. All right. Again, I need your help to make this show work. So if you have questions, please drop them in the chat. Whatever it's about, there are no bad questions. Anything you need help with, I will take the time and try to answer your questions while we're here for about 30 minutes. And of course, I will always bring some sort of tip. And I've got what I think is an all right one today. Not my favorite, but something that can be useful. And we'll get to that here in just a moment. Hey, Klaus, what's going on? Glad to see you over there on Instagram, man. All right. I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll wait for a few questions to come in. Today is going to be about Keepa yet again. Keepa is the Swiss Army knife of tools when it comes to being an Amazon seller. Just about anything and everything that you might want to do can be done inside of Keepa. And today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about bolos. Now, if you are newer to Amazon, what the heck is a bolo? It's be on the lookout. All right. So it's an item that you may want to go hunting for one reason or another. Maybe the price has shot up. Maybe the sales velocity has gone crazy. And hopefully, if the sales velocity has gone crazy, maybe the price has gone up as well. It doesn't always happen that way, but it happens sometimes. Hey, Kevin, glad to see you, man. Now, we talk a lot about bolos during Q4, which makes sense. It's the holiday season. Everyone is looking for that toy that their kid wants, or they're looking for that electronic item that is hot for the season. However, bolos happen all year round for one reason or another. It can be seasonal. It can be something that goes viral on social media. Matter of fact, I've been able to take advantage of multiple viral products over the years. The first one that I can ever remember was the Wookiee mask from Star Wars, when a lady took a video of herself in her car, and it just made her absolutely laugh. And then we had pregnant ladies who are giving birth were wearing these Wookiee masks, and they were great. And then, of course, there were other things down the road like pie face and so on and so forth. And so these products happen all the time. And we want to be able to find those, either because we want to take advantage of them before anybody else, or because it's just an easy way to make a few bucks. So I'm going to show you how to find products that have gotten much more popular very quickly. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come to Keepa.com. We're going to go to the data section. We're going to use the product finder, and we're going to use sales rank because this is one of the best ways to measure velocity. It's not the only way, but it is one of the best. And so what I did here is I said, hey, show me everything that is currently less than 50,000 in sales rank. Excuse me. However, over the last 7 days, I want there to be a 70% to a 99% drop in that sales rank. All right. So I want the sales rank to have gotten better by an order of magnitude. All right. And I'll show you this here in just a minute. Now, I also put in here, I just want to see things where the buy box is currently $30 or more. If I wanted to get a little bit more granular, I could just show items where the price has gone up over the past 7 days. The average price has gone up, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to get too granular. I'm already down to 35 products here. So $30 or more in the buy box. And then I went down and I just chose a category. I chose toys and games. Maybe not the best category this time of year. It is January. We've moved past the holidays, but there's always some toy that is doing well. All right. And then the other thing I did is I put in here that I want 3 or more sellers on average over the past 90 days. Now, we could come in here and say, you know what, over the past 30 days, I'd like there to be 3 or more sellers. And that's a little bit more granular. So I'm going to back that out and I'm going to go to that 90 days of 3 or more sellers. And this brings me down to 37 products here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click find. And what we're going to notice here is we're going to take a look at the sales rank. Now, I have these sorted by lowest current sales rank to highest current sales rank. But you're going to see here that the 180-day average on this first item is 27,000. The 90-day average is 26,000. The 30-day average is 7,900. But currently, it's at 340 in sales rank. This thing has gotten very popular. Now, there are some variations. However, it doesn't look like this was an orphaned listing that got added to its parent listing. It just looks like this entire listing has gotten much, much more popular over the past couple of days. And you see it was 5,000, but now we're down here at 300. So something happened. All right. And we could go out and we could try to find this. Now, this one is at $37. We could open this up on Amazon. We can see, is it one of the other variations that is driving the sales on this, or is it this one? Well, I can't say for sure, but let's look at the other variations. There are no other variations. This is the only one. All right. So it is this one that's driving the sales on this. Although we can see Amazon Global Store has come into stock. There are other FBA sellers around the $50 mark, but they are at $37.02. If we did a quick Google search on this, we'll do the whole thing here. Let's do a Google search and see if we could find this anywhere. Looks like Pokemon Center, or that might be TCG. Pokemon Center had this for $29.99. Target had it for $29.99 as well. So not really going to be something that we can get for ourselves. All right. So I don't know what drove this. However, while I was looking through here, I noticed a couple of other things. This thing called a fuggler, which it makes sense. This thing is fugly. All right. This thing has gotten very popular very quickly. And obviously, we've got Valentine's Day just around the corner. I know that it's still over a month away, but in the terms of retail, that means it is right around the corner. But this thing has gotten very, very popular for obvious reasons. My guess is they're also pushing this on social media. But then one of the things that I was most surprised by while taking a look here is I saw a laugh and learn, mix and learn DJ table here. And we'll see that the 180-day average and 90-day average was around 82, 30-day average around 110,000. But currently, it's ranked at 23,000 in sales rank. It has gotten significantly higher velocity since, what is this, the 11th, since earlier today. Now, the reason I was surprised to see this is because just a few hours ago, as I was wasting some time scrolling social media, I actually saw a video of this particular product that had gone viral. It had several million views on Instagram. I'm sure that if I went out to TikTok, and looked there, I would imagine whatever video is over there is probably doing even better. And we can do a Google search on this and we can find this for around $34, I believe, at regular retailers. Now, this is kind of a large item. It's not something that you can really make money on. However, we can see that it has gotten very popular very quickly. And sure enough, I can get this for $34.99 over at Walmart. It is selling for almost double that on Amazon. Okay. Now, price has been high. Price has not gotten any higher, but the velocity has certainly gotten much, much faster here very quickly. And what we will likely see is that if this velocity keeps up, the price on this item will likely go up as the supply goes down. So there may be an opportunity to make a few bucks on this if the demand stays where it's at right now. Okay. And this is how you can easily go in and find products that are trending up in a fast manner or maybe going viral for one reason or another. If you want to learn more about this, one of the things you can do is if you happen to see something in the news, like maybe a celebrity passing away, a singer passing away, you can go in and look what happens to the products around them, and you'll notice this very same thing. Okay. It's very, very fascinating. And then, of course, we've also got this Star Wars item. It was at 295 and now it's down to 28,000. I don't know what's driving that. I have not spent enough time on social media today to see anything going viral about this, but there are no variations. And it went from 380,000 down to 28,000 just today. Okay. So something must be going on there. All right. All right. So that is how you can find some bolos. All right. Let me go ahead and answer some questions for you guys. And then I'll get you guys out of here today. Excuse me. Gene, FBA worshiper. Quick question. I saw this guy on Twitter lose a 3K and 4K shipment when sending into FBA. What should I limit my shipments to avoid such a horror story? Should I do like 500 units per FBA shipment? I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing. Amazon is going to lose shipments on occasion. Would it make sense to do 500 items at a time? That way you can limit the loss on any one shipment if they lose the entire thing. Not a bad idea if you're doing SPD, but if you're getting somewhere around the 2,000 unit shipment, like it might be time for you to start thinking about, is LTL going to be something that is more cost effective for me? And then I don't know if you would want to be doing that. I don't know if you'd want to be paying for small parcel delivery if you could start going to LTL and it made sense. Okay. 3 or 4,000 units. So, but here's the other thing. The only other thing you can do is if you're sending in shipments that large, have a service that will help you get reimbursed for these kind of things. All right. We're going to have a little trouble going forward if Amazon keeps it their way with the new reimbursement method. But that's going to be the best you can do. I would not say that them losing things is such a regular occurrence, especially a full shipment, that I would necessarily reduce the number of items I send in a single go. Is this method in the Keepa SOPs? It sure is. What was the question that sparked me going into KPF? It was nothing. It was just I was trying to come up with a tip for the day, is all it was. Ah, Carrie, I love selling the Fuggler. Yeah, that can be a good one. How would we use KPF to source a store-wide sale? Well, it depends what kind of store it is. Okay. But that can be a fairly easy thing to do if it's one particular brand. So I'm going to use I'm going to use an example here. I'm going to use Walgreens as an example. All right. So if we go to Walgreens, Walgreens brand is always on sale. Okay. And at some point in time, there will be like a buy one, get one 50% off, maybe a buy one, get one free. And then there might be like a 20% discount coupon code on top of that. And then you might be able to use some discount gift cards. All right. Well, the easiest thing to do if that sale comes up is to go into the brand section. And I'll just go to the brand section. I'll say Walgreens, and I can see there are 1,088 Walgreens products. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, you know what? I want to make sure that the current sales rank is under 250K, and same with the 30 and 90 day sales rank. All right. Whoops, not 250 or higher, just 250 or lower. And then maybe I go in and I do some pricing as well. But actually, this is just 13 items here. But I could go in if it were a larger brand and I could say, well, I want to make sure that the buy box is currently above $30. Same for the 30 and 90 day average as well. All right. But now this way, I've only got 13 different products. And so I could come in here and I could say, well, which one of these do I want to sell? And I'd start looking for items where the prices are nice and flat. Okay. So this item right here, it is nicotine mini lozenges, 135 each, 53, 51, 55, and 55. That's a pretty solid buy box history on this thing. It sells nice and steady. Number of sellers is lower than what it's been in quite some time. So I run over and I take a look. Can I find this profitably? Let's go ahead and just see if we can find this at a profit. That is Walgreens 135. Looks like these are $59.99 right now. They are buy one, get one 50% off. There is also a 20% code. All right. So now we're looking at $59.99 times 0.75 times 0.8. We're looking at $35.99 on the buy price of this, $6.21 in profit on this, only a 17% ROI. But if I can keep that buy box price steady, this would be something that sells on a regular basis, if that's not going to hurt your sourcing budget too much. All right. So easy to do when there's a site-wide sale, especially if it's from one brand. If it is from multiple brands and the sale is the same across multiple brands, you would do the exact same thing, but in the advanced filter, instead of using one brand, we'd use more than one. So I know that there's probably a sale at Walgreens for Walgreens brand, but also probably number 7. Well, there's another 270 or 250 products I can source there. Although number 7 likes to give some troubles now and again with IP issues. All right. So we keep adding brands that we know are on a particular site. And there we go. We can source the entire site directly from Keepa. Excuse me. Hey, Paulie, good to see you here, man. I will have to take a look at this C3PO card that you're talking about, Tony. Never heard of that one. I can't prep another 3K units this month. Can you think of one or two things I could do today to overcome my hesitation about signing up for a prep center? Well, inner peace, it depends on what it is that is keeping you, like, what is it now that's holding you back from signing up for a prep center? Because maybe I can address whatever the specific thing is, but with such a broad question, it's hard for me to answer. Sailor Jim, what is the best way to figure out what a newer seller can sell? Sailor, that is a good question. So to figure out what a new seller can sell, you just have to look at more product. Now, I know that that is not like a really great answer. It's not some golden nugget or silver bullet or anything like that, but it's the only right answer. All right. You've got to look at tons and tons of products until you find what you're ungated in. And then, even further, you're going to have to find the products that you're ungated in and you can sell profitably. And those only come from looking at hundreds and hundreds of products. I'm going to give you an example here. Some of the people who grow their businesses the fastest as Amazon sellers, you go in and you're like, hey, how many products have you looked at over the past 12 months? And they'll tell you it's been 50,000, it's been 75,000. I've seen some people who've looked at 100,000 products over the course of a year. And it is the reps 100% that will get you there. When does the new reimbursement policy take effect? The new reimbursement policy that takes effect, I believe, goes into effect in March. I don't remember the exact day, but March 20 is sticking out in my brain. We've talked about it multiple times and I've emailed about it. So I'd have to go double check. But it is coming up in the next month or two. Christian, received an overnight delivery letter via FedEx from Voorhees. Any advice? Thank you. So Christian, I don't know if it was something you had to sign for or if it was just an overnight delivery. Now, I know what a lawyer is going to tell you. A lawyer is going to tell you, hey, you need to take this seriously. You need to either respond or stop selling the item, etc. I would read over the paperwork. Is it a lawsuit example? Like, hey, this is what we're going to file if you don't stop selling. Is it a cease and desist? Is it something else? Okay. Now, I happen to have a lawyer on retainer. So if it was sent overnight or I had to sign for it, I might send it to my lawyer and say, hey, would you mind sending them the equivalent of a middle finger in legalese and tell them to back off? Or if they said, hey, this looks like something they might actually want to take a little further, maybe you should stop selling that. I would take it into consideration. But chances are it's just a simple cease and desist. Hey, you're not allowed to sell this, which is complete BS. All right. If you have the right legally to sell anything that you rightfully and legally own. All right. It's called the first sale doctrine. That is something that the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled on. So, in my opinion, 99% of those Voorhees letters get thrown in the trash. All right. That's where 99% of them belong. But if it is more threatening than usual, then maybe you need to take a second eye at it. And you also need to take into account your own risk tolerance. My risk tolerance is fairly high. I would love nothing more than to go to the mattresses with a company that cannot beat me in most cases when it comes to the first sale doctrine. They'd have to use something else. Lex, Chris, you always mention drops aren't sales. Are drops how many times the sales rank has changed over a period of time? Yes. Sales rank drops are the number of times that the sales rank has gone down over a certain period of time. And when you're looking at the sales rank drops on the Keepa graph on a product detail page, it's the average number of times that it has dropped over the last 90 days each month. So if you see 15 sales rank drops on the Keepa graph on the product detail page, that's how many times on average the sales rank has dropped for the past 3 months. Okay. 15 times per month. That means that it could have been 15 times, or it could have been 45 times this month and 0 times the 2 months before that. Excuse me. Is it a good time of year to start looking into sports and outdoors stuff? It is always a good time of year to start looking into sports and outdoors items. There is always a time when something is happening. Okay. Now, kids are just going or just getting back into school, or just maybe a week into school from Christmas vacation. So that means that sports are going to be starting up. Now, I don't know exactly what sport. I don't have any kids in middle school or high school yet. I've got a kid who's out of high school, but I don't have a kid who's back in high school. But I'm sure that soccer is starting up very soon. I know that we've got leagues year round down here. There is going to be baseball. There's going to be basketball. There are going to be all these different sports that you could take advantage of. And people are looking to get fit. It's the new year. So they're going to be looking for, yoga mats and all that stuff. It's always a good time to sell sports and outdoors. Ian, what is the OA challenge? I appreciate you throwing this softball at me, Ian. So if you are interested, the OA challenge is a 14-day live training course that I put on a couple times a year. Our next one starts on January 27th. And for every day, for 14 days straight, I teach about Keepa. I teach about manual sourcing, reverse sourcing, storefront stalking, tactical arbitrage, tools, how to keep yourself, or how to be able to get through a Section 3, how to use AI in your business. I'm going to teach you every single thing I know about running an Amazon business over the course of 14 days. Plus, make sure we have time to answer every single one of your questions in detail during the OA challenge. And it starts January 27th. We do it for $397. We've had more than 3,500 people come through, and in my opinion, it is the premier training ground for those who want to become elite at online arbitrage. I'm the we run the IMG Academy of online arbitrage, in my opinion. Any tips for onboarding a new VA? Yeah, absolutely. One of the things is make sure to set some realistic goals and some realistic timelines when you're onboarding a new VA. All right. You're going to need to make sure that you get them to be trained where you want them to be trained. And that's not going to happen in 2 or 3 days. All right. It's going to take a couple of weeks. So I usually like to give new VAs like a 90-day period where we're learning, as long as there's not something absolutely glaring that points out that they shouldn't be on the team. All right. And then the other thing I would do is, once you teach them something, whether you do that live with them on a Zoom, or whether you send them a Loom video or whatever it is, have them then record themselves doing the thing you're teaching them and explaining in their own words what they're doing. That way you can get a sense of what they're learning, how they're thinking about it, and you can correct any mistakes after seeing their process. Because if you're using a VA in, say, the Philippines, it is very often that you're just going to hear, "Yes, sir. I understand, sir. Noted, sir," rather than some real talk back to you. Amazon Conwan, Love and Keepa Academy made KPF so much more fun. That's fantastic. I appreciate that. What is the name of the website that tells us when sales are going on? It is called Sales Gazer, I believe is what you're looking for. Sales Gazer is sort of like an email inbox for sales emails from thousands of different ones. All right. I don't see any more questions coming through. So we'll wrap this up for today. I will be back. Rascom, I've just let my sourcing VA go. I think sourcing myself is going to be a better way for 2025. Yeah, and that's okay. If your sourcing VA is not up to snuff, that's all right to let them go. If possible, help them find another job if they were good at what they were doing. I think that's always the right way to go. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there for today. I will be back at 5:30 tomorrow to do this again with you guys. And again, if you're interested, head over to oachallenge.com. Learn more about the challenge. We get started on January 27th, and I'd love to have you all there. All right, I'll check you guys tomorrow, 5:30, same place.